All right. This is going to be an interactive session talking about PMF. So as we were talking about, there's a lot of people who are working on different aspects of PMF, and it's hard to get a broad picture and update to communicate to ourselves, but also importantly, communicate to the whole Filecoin ecosystem, the improvements and upgrades that are happening over time on a market-by-market basis. So this activity is to both get you thinking about going to market in various different markets, to get you to see and connect with the other people who are working on Filecoin improvements in your same general market area, and for us to collectively build our understanding of the market movement, the market opportunities, the challenges in going to market, and some of the needs and areas that we need to invest in more in order to help us go to market in different verticals. So as a reminder from Juan's talk just now, our strategy is to get product market fit in sub-markets via building applications, L2s, on-ramps, et cetera, that are customized and driving go-to-market activity in those areas. And we build that on our on-chain open source L1 primitives. And we have a new on-chain L1 primitives, the Filecoin on-chain cloud, which we are actively working on onboarding a number of on-ramps and L2s to utilize that new SDK and set of on-chain building blocks as well. And so there's a lot that has shifted just in the past 6 months since we last got together at FDS 6. And this is a good opportunity for us to update in different sub-market verticals on what is changing, how has our go-to-market activity shifted, who are some of the new types of customers that we're able to bring into the Filecoin ecosystem, what are some of the new challenges and pain points we're running into and that we need to bust through in order to focus and scale our impact. So at the beginning of 2025, the TLDR team kind of put out these 3 main focus areas that aligned with kind of the 3 main KPIs for the Filecoin network that we talked about at Bangkok at FDS, was that 5? 5. One was accelerating the conversion to paid deals. So actually shifting from lots of large-scale free public data sets to having paying customers using on-chain paid deals and using that to grow and expand to new markets and have a good understanding of paying customers. That was also critically connected to growing on-chain activity. So actually bringing activity that might have been outside of the Filecoin visibility structure and Filecoin economy, where there were paid deals, but in legal contracts happening behind closed doors that were harder for the network to observe, bringing those into the on-chain economy, also doing things with increasing contract calls, increasing activity, reducing frictions for interacting with Filecoin L1. And then probably the most important, making Filecoin indispensable to others, is really around offering services and integrations and empowering a set of builders and customers and users who are making a very effective use of the key functions of Filecoin to solve real problems for real people, such that people will pay them for the services that they're building, and those can then flow into on-chain paying deals. And so these were kind of the 3 key metrics, the 3 key areas that we set out at the beginning of 2025. In terms of our momentum with on-chain paid deals, we've been doing a lot of building in this space. We are still getting that system fully up and running on mainnet so that we can start transitioning our workloads over to it. But we do now have dashboards of on-chain paid deals on calibration net, and some of our on-chain paid deals using the F05 storage market with POREP sectors. And so there has been movement here, but we are kind of like on the cusp of bringing this into production usage. And really the focus here has been enabling people to do this, making the building blocks exist. Because actually when you talk to people at first, they're like, no, like I don't want to pay for things. Paying for things is icky. And then you build the system and they're like, oh, actually using this would actually make my life easier or save me time. And so this was an interesting example of don't get discouraged from building if people kind of have some early frictions with your system. In terms of network activity is up from contract calls and messages being sent. Like, more activity is happening. In terms of our daily data uploaded, this is our view into network activity within the different on-ramps. We're seeing spikes of activity. CID Gravity there, leading the charge with a whole bunch of TIBs of data onboarded in September. Magic, I think that's you. Would love to know exactly the data behind it. But I think a lot of this aiming to bring into on-chain activity through some of the new Filecoin on-chain cloud tools. And really there, that's, I think, hardening robustness and doing full onboarding so that those on-ramps can be using the full on-chain paid tooling. We also have the making Filecoin critical and essential to others. Each of these groups is building out their kind of like set of user and adopters, but this is still just a slice of the ecosystem and a slice of the picture. And so really what I want to do here is get a sense from the people in this room and organize ourselves and build a more cohesive, comprehensive update on the things that have been shipping and the ways that we are bringing Filecoin to market within each of these markets. And we can break out a little bit more if there's multiple sub-markets within these areas that's worth differentiating so that we can have a more cohesive picture of our go-to-market, product market fit activities. Okay, raise your hand, please, if you have shipped a product or feature, not microphones right now, just raise your hand. You've shipped a product or feature to real users, to real people since FDS 6 in the last 6 months. Someone's using it in the world. Awesome, okay. We've got some people for us to profile. That's great. We are going to now break out and build a update of these different features and products by market. So if you tend to mostly focus on the Web 2, this is a diagram. I am here, and so this is the back wall. That is the door, just to orient yourselves. Gather over here in this corner of the room if you tend to focus on Web 2 large-scale storage. Find John. And that corner of the room is going to talk about the new features and products that were shipped generally in the Web 2 large storage vertical and submarket. In kind of this back corner, right to this side of the door, Web 2 object storage. I don't know if I see a Richard. Is there a Richard? Clara can be a stand-in for Richard, kind of with the Web 2 object storage community there, talking about features and new things shipped there. In this corner right here by the cameras, Web 3 chain storage and other, so like other markets, but things like blockchains, DePIN networks, so like Web 3, but on the larger scale, the less object storage structured data sets, but also if you don't fit in any of the other categories, join that one, and Shuki will help us build order out of chaos of many different groups altogether. And then in this corner right here next to the lectern, if you've been focused on Web3 object storage, come over to this area. What you're going to be doing is each group is going to discuss and build a slide that we can then present back to everyone here. What are some of the features and products that got shipped within your market? To whom, to what sort of users, what are some of the key differentiators of Filecoin or go-to-market opportunities in your market that you harnessed to bring those products to market? What are some of the challenges and pain points you encountered? That could be missing features, that could be market friction, could be alignment and coordination issues. And then what are some of your asks, needs, ideas to improve Filecoin's product market fit within your market so that we can have more velocity, more alignment, and kind of like your pitch, if we're going to focus a lot more in this market, what are some of the things that should be top priorities for our ecosystem to focus on? Who wants to start? Which group wants to start? I will present your slide.
I'm going to volunteer a table then. Here?
Tim, you're getting volunteered. Web 3.
Here, team.
Yeah, you can just, I'll present your slide up here and you can just stand and speak to it.
Okay, great. So there are three things that were shipped. One was a way to take X402. The customer was himself to be able to make these payments, but to use Filecoin. The second one was they shipped a way to archive governance participation, particularly for open source projects, the decentralized protocols. And the third one was an Python SDK that used Filecoin, and that was to also relate to GitHub, ship unique data sets, private data sets found on GitHub. Keep going. Also,
Filecoin on-chain cloud to calibration net and Filecoin PIN.
It wasn't PIN. It was just Filecoin on-chain cloud, correct?
Well, no, I'm adding a couple of things to features and products shipped. Okay, continue.
Oh, yeah.
Differentiators.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I see. You want to include Filecoin on-chain. I thought, okay. The key differentiators, a lot of it was around immutability related to one case governance. The other one was fraud prevention. The third set of challenges were making the service stable while they were developing. Another one was the tooling to be able to verify transactions that were made. Either they were slow to update in block explorers. And then the last one I wasn't exactly clear, but he said there was breaking chains, but I don't think it had anything to do with us. It was just your own thing, right? Okay. And then an idea was to be able to understand what the costs were before needing to interact on chain and store things, just to know here's the cost, and now I'm going to go ahead and make my commitment.
Awesome. Cost calculators will help Web3 folks adopt more. Awesome. Next group. Who's next? Shuki, are you ready? One more minute. Marta, you ready? Marta.
Okay, so for us, we had only one real product or feature shipped, which is eStore, which is like a Google Drive front end for FOC. Also, we had Richard doing customer interviews, so that kind of accounts for some learnings. So the problem was that if you store, the differentiator was basically availability no matter what, because AWS goes down, we never go down. The SPs get slashed if your data is not available. Privacy in case of eStore, so no one can access your file unless they are supposed to. Data sovereignty, and yes, that one, and governance. Challenges and pain points. Main one is the cost, because compared to Google, Filecoin is generally same price when it comes to pure storage, but then adding the guarantees on top, like the retrievability, boosts up the cost to 5 times more, almost 4 to 5 times more. And what needs and ideas? All sort of funding is needed to build those things. The alpha cohort really helped. And incentives comparable to Phil Plus or another subsidy of sorts that drives the cost down.
Who's next? I'm coming to you, John.
Okay. So loads of chat. I'll try to do it justice in my bullet points. Features, lots of features for verifying Phil Plus. So just for context, a lot of Phil Plus deals are very large data sets. So we need to make sure that they're actually properly managed, handled, and rewarded with QAP in the right way. So we've done lots of compliance reports. The allocator competition is cool. If you don't know what that means, go look it up on datacapstats.io. And also filling in some of the piece availability. So obviously retrievability, downloadability is king in file storage. And we had those hiccups earlier in the year, so we've got some alternatives now running. And I'm going to claim the open dataset manifest standard. It has been shipped. It's not used in the wild yet, but I'm sure it will be in the next month or two. We've also got super performant S3 gateway for large onboarding, which really helps. You've got to meet people where their tools are and with the interfaces they already use, and that will super help. And also singularity features to better fit the size and shape of the data that we've got. So a large data set might be large, but it is not one file of 4 petabytes, right? They come in all sorts of weird shapes and sizes. It might be a billion 1K files, or it might be whatever else. So making sure that can be actually handled in the weeds is important, and that's been done, and there's more of that to come. Key differentiators. It's a hard niche where we have a beachhead. I'll do that one first. That's actually kind of interesting. And good governance and stability if you're looking at especially decentralized or community type things. Filecoin is a recognized brand, and that really actually helps to get a head start. Why? Because we have very sophisticated buyers in this kind of market. They've got a lot of money available, but they also demand a lot of kind of public commitment, very long-term commitment, and decent support. You can't just throw a new technology at them and hope that it'll work. We've also got payment, as we said. Where are the counterparties for these big data sets? Who's going to pay? Especially when we're competing against something like the Open Data Program, or basically anything. We run into the nobody gets fired for buying IBM problem. Much as we can offer really good things, you've got to prove it. And ideas to help. We need to do away with the double call. I think that was already mentioned, but providing efficiently the kind of guarantees that we can provide needs to be done. We have to meet the customer where they already are. I've put versus in inverted commas here. We sometimes hear PDP versus POREP. It's not really a competition in that sense, but it is important to join them together so we have a coherent offering for customers, and they know what their choices are and what guarantees they can get from each piece of our functionality set. We need, as a community, again, just echoing what Juan said earlier, we need more alignment and solve fewer problems at once. I think that just helps everybody to deliver a better product and a better offering. And for folks who don't have a particular dog in any particular fight, like, we don't need to go and sell the latest best idea. We need to sell what's already on the truck. And if we better know that, we can better sell it and do biz dev and stuff like that. And lastly, some of the things that have provided hurdles, but I just put it in this section instead, is to think a little bit more and provide more tools and functionality to deal with the data when it's retrieved, rather than just thinking really heavily about how on earth we get it in the first place. Because, again, tooling, meeting people where they are and giving them a value prop is all based on that. So.
Awesome. Thank you. All right, Shuki, last but not least.
Yes, thank you. And for us, we are the Web3, and I added also catch-all because we don't have Web3 chain people in our group. So we actually have a diverse group, including builders that build on top of Filecoin through one of their own ramps. We have the foundation representative and Forest, which is more actually on the storage provider side of things. So we have kind of a good mixture of things. We also have somebody from Philo. Steve also contributed, so shipping Filecoin PIN. The Forest team is building a Lotus node equivalent, a Filecoin node equivalent, and shipped new metrics that makes it more compatible with Lotus. And internally in Filecoin Foundation, a bunch of internal tools and capabilities were built using the tools to deploy data sets on the network. The things that the team kind of share that they see as opportunities going forward, the Weather XM shared about the ability to have relying on decentralized, which is verifiable chain to prove data, especially for the customers who are trading companies who need verifiable data. So that is a key differentiation for Filecoin. And both WeatherXM and Forest share that they specifically see advantages in Filecoin when they're targeting deep in use cases. Some of the challenges that the team has shared around the connection to storage providers. So when you build new software that you want to run on nodes, it's harder to get in touch with them. So that was shared both by Philo's team and by the Forest team. So how do we manage relationships with storage provider? How do we make them update the software fast enough? How do we hear what they want so that we can make sure that we are building the right things for them? That was a shared feedback. The WeatherXM team shared that they wish that Filecoin had more built-in capabilities, things like direct S3 interface, compatible S3 interface, both from technical and from payment perspective. They want to have an easier onboarding and engagement model where they don't have to talk to storage provider directly. They want the system to take care of that. And they would love to see much more features that will derive when we have more time, or what exactly the features that they want built in coming from Filecoins, but we can talk about that it takes more time to talk about it in a few minutes. And from the Filecoin Foundation, who actually do the eat your own dog food and use the tools that we have, the feedback was that we have a bunch of tools, but each one of them has their own gaps. So it's hard to find one tool that doesn't have gaps that we actually use. So we have to jump around or fix a bunch of them instead of just having one tool that works well. That was the feedback. And the asks, another ask that came from Steve from the Philos team was around just make it easier for teams to build and monitor their progress and monitor how things work. If you can have a shared infrastructure for capturing logs and metrics that everybody can use, and they don't have to rely on other teams or talk to them or be dependent on them, can very help and accelerate development and the success of the various teams together. And the Forest team shared, as we said before, about just the ability to interact with the users directly and hear the feedback, what they need and what needs to be improved, can significantly increase their velocity and their success rate.
Awesome. Okay, thank you guys so much. This was really, really useful. We now have slides that are updating ourselves on each of these different markets, and we've also kind of primed ourselves on some of the needs and opportunities in these markets, which is a key thing that we're going to be talking about later this afternoon and over the next couple of days as we roadmap, go to market, new next steps and initiatives there.